Astrology and numerology is something we just associate with hippies or women that are trying to, quote, find themselves, be it young or old, and likely traveling to destinations like Bali. I don't believe in either of these things personally, but after an interview with John Zherka, who had previously interviewed, and him urging me to meet this man named Gary, who's a self-admitted numerologist and astrologist, I decided to look him up and was rather surprised. Gary, or GG33, was someone who I had first come across on Twitter sometime in 2017. He was popular back then. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, but he had a following. But the crazy part about this is he's the exact opposite of the stereotype of a numerologist or astrologist. He's a man, an older man, he's very bold, has controversial takes, and he's in your face. Far from anything we associate with astrology. I wanted to know more. Was he a fraud? Is this whole thing fake? Or is numerology real? Well, I can tell you this much. I still don't believe in it, but what I learned in our discussion was a lot, and you should definitely tune in because of some things I couldn't show or talk about. It is a fact he is living in a very expensive area. It is a fact that he was in conversations and regularly speaks to billionaires, one of which all of you watching know who he is. I saw it with my own eyes. And it's also a fact that there are very, very rich men that pay him to do these readings for him. But why? I still don't entirely know. But it's intriguing, that's for sure. Especially when I decided to come prepared with questions about hip-hop and rappers and figures that he has no idea about, and seeing if any of his assessments were remotely close to the truth, even an assessment done about me. John, you introed me to Gary here, who we're at his studio. So how did you find out about him, and how did you first link up with him in Miami?
Actually, he DM'd me something like, "Did you call me a or so?"
I wasn't that strong.
It was something not strong, yeah. But he attacked me because he saw my style is attacking everyone, and so I ignored everyone who said they want to collaborate. I'm like, But this one message, he has his own following, he has his own thing going. I was like, wait a minute. You're a and I attack him. And then weeks later, one of my guys, Chase, says, no, you guys would be good together. Said, come here. It's like conspiracy. I thought he's going to talk to me about aliens and stupid shit.
I'm not into grays and reptilians.
Yeah, he's not into that. And so he started talking about Pleiadians, yeah. Okay. He started talking about the real shit. And I'm like, I'm the only one on the internet who read about Pythagoras finding every letter equals to a number and all numbers that complete till 9, right?
He's the numerologist now.
Well, yeah, I'm learning. But
he's setting it up.
All numbers are we didn't create them. We just observed them. So they're thought patterns, and they make perfect geometric, infinite shapes. Thought patterns of God. So numbers, the date you're born, a month is moon cycle. Month comes from the word moon, 30 or days or whatever.
So does mom.
Or is it 29 days? Mm. Yeah, so does mom, right? Or matter.
That's why a woman has a 28-day cycle. Moon matches mom. M-O.
And in Freemasonry, I don't know how I know this, but I read a book, but Freemasonry, the moon is the feminine principle.
Correct.
And the sun is the masculine principle. And your brain is actually divided into a male and female part. The middle is the third eye, where you bite from the apple and you get that solar vision through a sodomy ritual. We'll go into it after. But
I'd rather not. I know it's Pride Month, but I'd rather not.
All right, so Gary, how would you define what you do and your expertise is for someone that has no idea about any of this?
Here's what
I asked him, not you.
This is answering you. The first 5 seconds of meeting him, I'm like, oh, it's a schizo numbers guy, but he's rich. He knows all these famous people that work with him. They all do readings with him. I said, what is a reading? He said, when are you born? I said, February 23rd, 1994. Before I even finished, what did you say? You said, entertainer? Mm-hmm. What did you say? Go.
I said, you're an entertainer. You have a short attention span. You got a good mouthpiece. Again, when it comes down to it, communication starts with C. C is the third letter, and you, my friend, are a 3 life path. Just like in history, Rush Limbaugh, Howard Stern, born in the 12, 1 and 2 is 3. You have a lot of famous people. And again, comedians like Chris Rock are 3 life paths too. You're a clown when you want to be. By the way, clown starts with C. C is the third letter. So you see how everything matches within the English language. This guy's a pure entertainer. Why? A lot of people who are born in the 23rd are also entertainers. You basically got the 2 entertainer numbers, 3 and 5. You got them both within you.
Where's the 5?
You're born on the 23rd. 2 and 3 is 5.
Oh, you add them up, right?
Yeah, see?
And you said 8 is the number of money.
Yeah, you don't got that one.
That makes sense.
Yeah, of course I do.
You have, what do you mean? You're an 11.
No, I'm a 33.
Really?
Yeah, so here's
So what is a
when you're
33?
born?
I'm born January 7th.
Do the math. Do the math.
Okay, there you go.
Help me with the math.
You can't do 1 plus 7?
I can't.
I don't know, brother. Oh, you think you want to help?
1 plus 7 is 8.
There you
this
go.
nigga got money. But you're not. You're not a Zionist. You're a Jew. What is a Zionist Jew's number?
Zherka starts with Z, so the Zionist. So I'm not sure.
Oh shit. Okay.
So all right, so this numerology thing, it's always existed.
Of course.
So then why is it so like the English language hasn't always existed,
course.
but you use the numbers from it, like, oh, this is the 3rd letter. So
if you take something with a tool and you built it from that tool, of course it's gonna match. You understand?
So
they built the English language around the numbers themselves. So of course the numbers existed before the language. First it was the Greek language, then it was Hebrew, and then the final language is English. That's why the English language is everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in Beijing. It doesn't matter if you're in Russia, Mongolia. All the signs are in English for a specific reason.
That's why it's an international.
Yes, that's why it's called spelling. You guys know this. You're casting a spell.
English
Profound moment.
English comes. Is it Phoenician? Does it come from? They say it's like a Phoenician. Like, where does English come from?
Here's what I'm trying to tell you. No matter where they tell you it came from, they're lying to you. So don't worry about the speculation. Most people even say it was Shakespeare. But when it comes down to it, you have to understand that language itself is coded. So, for instance, male. The first vowel in male is A. A is the first letter, just like aggressive, just like athlete. A lot of people who have male energies tends to be aggressive, argumentative, and athletes. A is the first letter. So the
But
English
why vowel?
language,
Why would you off a vowel?
and the vowels are more important.
Why?
That would have to go into secrets I am not
Oh,
revealing.
that's where he charges me.
That's where I charge everybody. And you
So,
have to sign a non-disclosure
if
too.
you're saying spelling is spellcasters, so that does that mean there are words people shouldn't be saying
Yes,
because they can cast bad spells?
correct.
So how do people know which words not to say?
The ones that are spread through the media all the time.
Okay,
The ones the media likes to make famous.
Like what?
I see. Well, he's not going to say it.
Like diversity? Is that one of them?
I mean, doesn't it have the word die inside of it?
Okay. What about progressive? Be more progressive.
All I can tell you is when you look at certain words like alien and you take the A off and the N off, you have lie. When you take a word like Bible, you take the B-I off, you have lie. So what you have to understand is you have to look at certain things that are hidden messages in plain sight.
And you're saying if you spend enough time with every single word that you're obsessed with, you'll find something?
No, you have to understand the numerology first. There's no point looking at the letters if you don't know the numerology.
So for instance, for John, he has a twin brother who's the opposite of him.
Who's the first?
Yeah, he's 5 minutes older.
Okay, so he's more of the alpha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's simple. The first one out is the alpha.
So even though his brother is not an entertainer.
Doesn't matter. The first one's the
Well, he's
alpha.
a therapist, and he's never done drugs or partied. Opposite.
The first one is always the alpha. The second one is pretty much the loose change. So what that means is the second one can still be more talented than everyone else, but the first one's still going to have the much more aggressive attitude.
Yeah, that's true.
And now, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and right by Cleveland, Ohio, there's a place called Twinsburg. And this place, every single year, they have the Twins Festival. So I used to go there certain years, and I used to ask people their birthdays just so I could figure out what is the difference between the first and the second. And that's how I always figured out that the first one, no matter what the situation, even if it's a girl, she's going to be the more dominant one. Even if the first one is a girl, she will be more dominant than the second one.
Now, you said when you're reading these books, you started studying this at 21, but didn't get it.
23.
23 is when you got it?
Yeah, right.
What
after
pushed you to start?
9/11.
Okay.
So again, like I told everyone before, 9/11 happened on the 11th. First plane to hit the World Trade Center for 11. New York City, 11 letters. The Pentagon, 11 letters. Even that plane that crashed in Shanksville, That was, again, 11 letters. The president at the time was George W. Bush, 11 letters. They attacked Afghanistan on 10/7/2001. Take out the zeros, 17201, again, 11. At that point, I'm like, okay, what the is going on? And, it's not like I figured this out automatically. I'm like, this just looks very suspicious to me.
But you think they're deliberately
doing
it, casting it?
That's the conclusion I came to. I didn't know in 2001. I just thought it was a coincidence that should be studied. You see a pattern that comes over, like, for instance, say you're a baseball, you have a baseball team, and your team blows the lead in the 9th inning like 15 times in a row. You're going to start looking for things like, what the fuck is going on? Or if you're a football player and your team wins it at the last second every single time for 10, 15 games in a row with a field goal. Or even better yet, something hits the goalpost 10 times in a row. Something's wrong. Yeah. The math doesn't add up. So when I saw stuff like that, I was like, okay, time to investigate. And you know what really got me? History. That's what you really got to study. Even if it's the victor's history, you have to study history. And the reason you have to study it is because they can't lie about the dates. They can lie about everything. They say the reason it happened, the circumstance, they can lie about everything. They can't lie about the date.
But hold on. You're saying it's a more cataclysmic event if they do it on the September 11th.
Correct.
They get more of that cosmic energy?
No, because people get more emotional under 11 energy. And because people get more emotional, they're going to get more out of the experience.
To go into the Middle Eastern wars.
You're going to terrorize people. And that's exactly what they want. If I was doing things like that, I would do it on 11 days. Fuck out.
Wait, what's the date today?
And that's why World War I ended on 11/11 at exactly 11 o'clock.
That one blew me away.
There's no chance that could be a coincidence. 10:55, these motherfuckers are still trying to put a cap in your ass. At 11 o'clock, it stops. Why? Because people in positions of power wanted to do that way. So now the next logical question is, why would they want to do something like that? And that is when I started becoming a numerologist. First thing I did, like any logical person, it wasn't really an internet back then that good.
You were gambling with this.
No, not gambling. That didn't start back then, but it did later on. But when it comes down to it, you start going to Barnes and Nobles. I know they're all out of business now, but first I used to, get those books, and then I'd read these books for hours and hours, just smoke, read these books, and I'm like, some of this shit's but I know there's something here. Like, I know there's something in this, but what I'm reading right here is garbage.
So the authors were never an authority to you? You're like, I'm taking this shit out. This stuff's garbage?
Not right away. It took me about 3-4 months to realize that the books were basically, big lies.
Was it watered down?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the basics they had right, but anything even remotely advanced, it was all wrong. Like, people just making up stuff. And in 2002, I started talking to all the best numerologists. They gave me all that courtesy because I was on the radio, talking a little bit. That's how you develop that mouthpiece. You got to talk, and you know all about that. And
that's the only way I can generate a dollar to my name. Huh?
And I start just looking at this stuff, and I start talking to these people, and over and over and over, something came up. I started noticing a pattern with these people. I talked to about 4 or 5 of the so-called top numerologists in the world. They were all old. I'm talking about 70s, 80s. They all learned it from the same person, Juno Jordan. And they basically called themselves numerologists because they read someone else's words and they rewrote it in their own words and put out a book. And that's why they decided they were a numerologist. And the thing that kept sticking out over and over was these people were always divorced. And I'm like, wait a second. If you guys are so good at numerology, why the are you divorced? And
because that's the one thing that not even the universe can fix is a woman's mind. That's
hey, brother,
you can't predict that.
I've been married for 20 years, so I'm good. But when it comes down to it, if people learn numerology and astrology, they won't have issues like that. Because you'll be able to know what woman you can train and what woman you can't train.
No, you guys watching this, don't get married, because at exactly 11 o'clock, 11 lawyers are going to knock on your door and take 11% of half of everything you have. And it's really 50. It equals up that she took everything, bro.
I'm going to tell you this about women, man. As long as you keep them in the house and they're not working and they're, taking masculine issues, which makes them a lot less feminine. As long as you take those problems away from them and you actually are really good in the sack, no one's going to cheat on you, man. As long as you pipe them down right and take care of them, you're good, bro.
I can't take care of them or pipe. I got erectile dysfunction from the drugs. But I'll tell you this. Is a woman doing masculine things, I always say it increases her anxiety that she's not being guarded, and she starts to turn on you subconsciously. Do you believe that?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. If a woman stops listening to you and she stops respecting you, you're going to have issues actually, making sure other guys ain't tapping that.
Yeah.
That's it. And here's the thing. Women ain't loyal. Some are. Thank goodness I knew what to look for to find a loyal woman.
Did you use numbers?
Of course. Why do you think I'm married for 20 years and I don't have issues and I have a dime piece? So when it comes down to it, people have to understand, if they learn this stuff, they'll know what they're compatible with, what they're not, and they won't have those issues in life. But that was my problem with those numerologists. They were selling matchmaking advice, and these are divorced 3 and 4 times. And the second thing that really bothered me, they're all broke. If you knew what you're talking about, how the are you broke?
Well, how'd you find the book if they're broke? They have to have some money. What, they have like $1 million?
No,
he was hunting for the
This
books.
is 2002.
How much did they have?
Probably less than 100K, bro.
Oh, that's
some people like even less than, honestly, back then probably less than 35. They really didn't have money. They're selling readings for $25. They didn't even know that 3 + 5 = 8. These are morons, man.
Yours is $188?
No, that's my students. I don't talk to anyone for $188. Are you nuts?
How much do you talk?
Well, if you want to talk to me within a month, it's like $575. If you want to talk to me and by the way, there's a waiting list for that. So if you want to get
no, just get him high. I smoked him up. I smoked him up with a lot of weed, and I got a free. He just started babbling. I'm like, let's like this. I don't even smoke weed. I'm like, get this guy high. I'll get my free. Wait, so these are expensive reading?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, most people can't afford them.
And these famous names that you do it for?
Don't say any
names. I know. But you'll never say it, right, on camera?
No, of course not. Why would you burn your relationships with people?
So when you found out that these guys are failing, did you say like their information is bad, or that you had to innovate on it?
If the car gets in a car accident, it's not the car's fault. It's the motherfucker driving the car. So the same thing with numerology and astrology. If you up, it's not the science, it's you. It's not the people who said trust the science. It's the people who came to that conclusion. I trust the science. I don't trust you.
And you saying military also does numerology?
Yeah, of course. Everyone is CIA, FSB, MI6. They all use this stuff. Why wouldn't they? This stuff works. This is like, if you understand psychology and you're a big fan of Jordan Peterson, this supersedes psychology. This is basically like the steroids. And by the way, if Jordan Peterson thinks this is, I got $1 million, bro. We can bring 20 people off the streets. 20 people off the streets, okay? He can talk to them all for 5 minutes. I want to be blindfolded when I talk to these people. And I bet you I nail those people and their personalities and what they've been through more than you ever will. You talk to them for 5 minutes, I'm blindfolded. What's up?
You're that confident?
Yes.
20 in a row?
Because I'm not going to lie. I'm super skeptical, but I'm also open-minded. Like, I'm not going to straight up say it's when you gave me my number, I was like, okay, this is kind of accurate, but I don't know if it's accurate because it's confirmation bias I want it to be accurate. So what was the number that you said I was?
Give me your birthday so everyone hears it.
Yeah. I don't want to dox them on my birthday.
Okay, never mind. So you're an 11 life path.
Yeah.
And 11s are old souls. So one of the things I like to, so that basically means you've been reincarnated quite a few times to actually have a right to have that energy. So here's what it comes down to. People always see you and they'll open up to you. Start telling their problems. Start coming to you for guidance. This is who you are. Even at a young age, that's who you are. What do you do for a living?
Kind of make videos. Pretty much like explaining stuff.
What do you do? Don't you manage people?
Yes, as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
So people come to you for guidance.
Yeah, frequently.
Okay, gotcha.
Most of them
Especially
I
my
turn.
whores. My whores go to him and start opening up, and I'm like, yo, what the?
You open them up in different ways, huh?
I'm trying my best.
And basically, like, for instance, when you look at 11s, one of the things you look at is, let's just look at the best of all time. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. So Michael was an 11. He mentored Kobe. Kobe starts with K. K is the 11th letter. All of a sudden, Kobe mentored Kyrie. Kyrie 11, he's also an 11 life path. See how it goes down the list? If you just know what to look for. Look at the royal family. Most of those, from Prince William to Prince Charles, 11 life paths. What do you think? They're all C-sections. They're doing it on purpose because they understand how energy works. Now, most of us can't see auras, so we can't see the energy. But the Matrix, this is what this virtual reality all is. This virtual reality, it allows you to understand what energy is flowing through the numbers. So if you can read the numbers, you understand how the energy works. Is that making sense to you?
I have a question on that. So you're saying basically the world kind of operates on these numbers.
Correct.
Now, I come to two different conclusions with this.
Let's hear it.
One makes a little bit less sense to me. One is the outcomes are on these numbers because that's just the way the world is like wired. It's wired on numbers, so these events and these births will happen on these numbers.
Okay.
Another is a lot of people are conspiring or coming together to make sure things happen on these dates and numbers, which
Why would
seems
they
a
do
lot
that?
more difficult.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
The only reason they would do that is because they understand the numbers have an effect. So it can't be possible two without one.
So so one would have to exist for them to try to
Exactly.
manipulate
Exactly.
it to become
They're
one.
just trying to take advantage of the energy. They're doing what I'm describing here.
Okay.
That's why Oklahoma City happened on 4/19/1995. 4/19/1995 adds up to 38. 3 and 8 is 11.
If 8 is the money number, why would royal family be born as 11?
Wait, can we go through 0 to... So you said the numbers are 0 to 9, right?
Well, not really 0, but we can start with 1.
Okay, so can we just like go through the numbers?
okay, no problem.
Like the basics?
So 1 is basically the male energy. We talked about that a little bit before. One of the life paths in history, LeBron James, Napoleon. Napoleon was a leader. That's what 1s are. Even women who are 1s tend to be more in leadership positions. Even women.
Like who?
Sheryl Sandberg, born on the 28th. She's the CFO of Facebook, and she's also a self-made billionaire.
Now, when you said, hey, Zherka, go, when you're looking for a woman, go for an 11. You do good with 11s, maybe not the best, but you said 11s are like Candace Owens?
Oh, she's born on the 29th, 2 and 9 and 11. 11s have that charisma. They're
Yeah, no,
extremely charismatic.
Have you noticed he's like Candace politically, the jokes, the everything? And so all 11s have the same personality?
No, not the same personality because environment plays a role. If you put an 11, in San Francisco, it might be more of a rainbow. If you put an 11 in Madrasa in the Middle East, it will be more likely to be a Muslim. So environment does play a role. But what it basically does is, okay, if someone is going to be stubborn, it doesn't matter if they're going to be a LGBT or someone who's a Muslim because they're still going to be stubborn. But their environment plays a role in their upbringing. So you have to honestly look at everything.
So
It's like an equation. You have to understand the numerology and astrology and then put the basically environment into it.
But you're saying that means there's prisoners who are intelligent 11s born in the wrong place.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow,
So that's
a lot of
also
wasted
why you
potential.
said when you talked about the Jordan Peterson thing, why it would be important for you to just not know their birth dates, but to also talk to them a little bit.
No,
even though you're
Jordan
blindfolded.
Peterson can talk to him. I don't need to talk to him. I just need a blindfold.
And their dates.
I would prefer to have a blindfold on so I can describe the way they look and the way their body looks because it's more impressive when I don't look at them first. See, when I talk to people on the phone, I describe how they look. And basically that actually, puts that much more emphasis on how accurate this stuff is.
Wait, just by knowing their birthday?
Yeah.
That's it.
Of course. I'll give you an example. Bradley Barton, okay? Bradley Martin's born on the 22nd, right? 22 is the number of the bodybuilder. So most people who had a history of bodybuilding as a percentage, not every single one, but as a percentage, there's a lot of them born on the 22nd. The top 2 female bodybuilders of all time were born on the 22nd. That number is associated with building up a body. And think about it, bodybuilder, BB, B is the second letter, so it makes sense that 22 would be into stuff like that. So again, 28 is the number of wealth. Elon Musk born on the 28th. Bill Gates born on the 28th. Hold on, stop. So here's how you prove this. People can say, okay, that's one guy. But you can go and do a list, and I've actually done these graphs of the top 50 billionaires for the past 35 years. And the 28 is always represented a higher percentage, 300 higher percentage higher than any other number. So there's more billionaires on the planet born on the 28th than any other number. That's how you know it works.
They go off statistics for everything. So if you showed them those statistics, how would someone refute that and say it's schizo? They go off statistics for car accidents and everything.
Let me.
So you have a list of billionaires?
Yeah, of course. Let me find it right now.
Real Jew.
Here's a list of the top 50 billionaires. Look, the 28th. See how it hits?
Holy that's way different. That graph is retarded.
See, so we have the top 50 billionaires in the world, and look at the percentage. Look at the percentage.
So six is on the sixth. They're losers. They're not billionaires ever.
Not one. So look, 28. They have 8 billionaires out of 50. 8 out of 50 are born on the 28th. Some numbers, they're not even close. You see that?
Yeah, 27th is a 0.
0 for 22nd, because your bodybuilders never make they make $1 million if they're the best. That's it.
And not too many billionaires. 23.
There's third. I would be third, not 23rd, right?
No, you would be right here in the 23. You got 1. So you got to make it 2, man. You got your work cut out for you.
I got to kill that guy.
Take his spot. Take his spot. But see, again, all jokes aside, you can find this on Find GG33 on Twitter. I mean, how do you disprove that? I say something is, I go through Forbes' list. It's not a made-up list. And I put it, and by the way, this ain't for 1 year. I got this graph for 35 years. So again, people can want to say this is all coincidence. I'll ask you why the Dallas Cowboys, the most valuable football franchise of all time, are founded on the 28th. Why is that?
Why is that? Oh, the money. The money.
Who's the second most?
I think it's Manchester or something like that.
Okay, so if I give you an event and the date of the event and the person associated with the event, can you give me like information on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so like let's say like Travis Scott, he's very popular.
Mm-hmm.
He was born on April 30th, 1991.
So what's the date you want me to give him?
So the date, he had like this big festival where a bunch of people died, like 10 or 11, and that was on 11/5/2021.
Okay. So I can explain that. Travis Scott is born 1991, the year of the goat. The goat's enemy is the ox. 2021 was an ox year. So he would be in his enemy energy, and that's why he got hit.
So is that why, like, was it 12 years ago that Kanye West had got hit last?
Kanye West.
For what?
He was born.
Kanye West's mother died in his enemy year.
Whoa.
And he was born
6/8/1977. He is an 11 life path. Kanye has a whole bunch of charisma. Kanye starts with K. K is the 11th letter. Even though his name is Ye now, which is what the name he wants to go by. So again, I'm not trying to offend you, brother, but his former name was Kanye, and he used to be married to Kim. Kim again, K is the 11th letter. Kanye, K is the 11th letter. He's an 11th life path, and that's why he made so much noise.
The highest level spells, it's always a Hegelian dialect where they like bring two groups to fight each other. When there's enough bloodshed on the 11/11/11, World War I ends. And then they have this new super states that they build.
They can always cause issues. It doesn't matter where. They can turn females against males, gays against straights, communists against capitalists. It does not matter. In religion, Catholics against Christians. In Islam, Sunnis against Shiites. They will turn everyone. They got their sex everywhere. They got their sleeper agents everywhere. And when they want to activate them, they do it. Just like, for instance, when they want to start a riot, they don't have to tell anyone to do it. They just in Egypt during the Arab Spring in 2011, which was started on 11 day. What did they do? They just cut off the grain supply. No more food coming in. Food prices go up. Poor people riot. You don't have to do anything. Cut off the food supply.
The way we should see it is like we're at Water Mania with our kids and stuff, and they you know how they go bing, and there's a big wave of water that starts. You're saying on the 11th, you can ride that wave into World War cataclysm.
Yeah, because people will be like, if you attack something on an 11 day, like 9/11. All of a sudden, people get really emotional and they'll get behind the government. They did this. Osama did this. Attack. And by the way, Osama bin Laden, born 1957, year of the rooster, is killed 2011, year of the cat. Again, enemy signs. Always people get hit in their enemy year.
Will I die on my enemy year?
Let's hope not.
Oh, it could be wrong. It's only like an 80% chance?
I'll give it a little less than that.
Okay.
So based on a year, you can tell if someone had like a very bad year in their past.
Yes.
Okay,
Yours
so
would be 213.
Now, hold on. When I met him, and I'm like super skeptical. I'm like, yeah, you know,
that was actually a bad year.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, bro. He said,
I'm actually good at this.
First of all, he called me a dog. He's like, you're the dog, huh? Blah, blah, blah.
Said 2012.
Yeah, he said 2012 was the worst year of my life. And I was like, no. And I thought, and I'm like, oh my God, the one time in my life, I'm not known for that. You could give me any drug, I don't get anxiety. I had panic attacks because I didn't have college and I moved construction bulk furniture for $10 an hour in debt, mad at my parents trying to make it, leave the home and shit. And then I was like, I'll take my own life. This is the worst shit that ever happened. And then it got worse and worse. 2012 is the worst year for me ever. And I've had years where I've been jumped, stabbed, and everything happened, and I dealt with it. Yeah,
It happened last week.
It's the shades. But when you nailed that 2012, did he get yours too? The worst year?
Like, it was definitely one of the
It was definitely a very low year. I was the most lost that year.
The same. He got my most.
Like I had no thought of what my future was going to look like.
So again, now you understand how I called Travis Scott, how I was able to do that, because that was his bad year. Just like I called yours and yours, that happened to him. So again, Travis Scott, if you're going to watch this, and again, my videos usually get millions of views, so there's just a chance he might. And hell, Zherka's here, you're here, that's definitely going to make it happen. So you're born in the year of the GOAT, 91. You got hit 2021 year of the ox. That's just the way things work. Oxes and goats are enemy. See, this is common sense to me. I've been doing this for 20 years. This is all common sense to me at this point.
What's my enemy as a dog?
That's a dragon.
Oh, fuck. Okay. A dog versus a dragon? This is unfair. What the? Give me the goat. What the fuck? But hold on. Now, you're saying, what are the chances in that horrible year that's coming for me? I can flip it. I can change it.
It's best to lay low.
Really? Just sleep in?
Yeah, pretty much.
So don't try to do anything big. Let's say an artist releases an album every 2 years, right? And
you might want to skip his enemy year.
So skip that year.
Pretty much. I mean, there are people in football history who've done stuff like that. Like, for instance, Andrew Luck is born in 1989. He's a former quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He's born in the snake year. Right before 2019 started, he basically quit. He knew it was his enemy year.
So can I give you some birth dates of other popular figures, like let's say certain rappers?
Okay,
you
go
can
ahead.
just tell us stuff about. Okay, so popular one obviously is Drake. He's 10/24/86.
He's born in the year of the tiger, and tigers are really, really good at making noise. People who are tigers are the third sign.
That's me.
So
Let's
just
go.
like threes talk, tigers the third sign, so they talk. Examples of tigers. Andrew Tate. Again, when it came down to it, that guy runs his mouth quite a bit. Tom Cruise, another tiger. So when it comes down to people who are born in tiger years, they tend to have a more of a aggressive attitude toward the establishment. Even if you look at all of Tom Cruise's movies, he's always, going against the system.
Yeah, he was against Big Pharma and needles. Remember in the beginning?
And very so.
But Andrew Tate, as much as he's against the system, he didn't JQ once. They said who controls the world, and he said it's not about who. Let's not talk about that. It's about what. How's that against the system?
He said he didn't care if he had a gay son.
No way.
When the did he say that?
He said he didn't care if he had a gay son. Not only him, that guy Waller said the same thing.
What, recent?
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
These guys are controlled offs, bro.
So again, if you're a Muslim and you hear like that, that's kind of haram, ain't it? That's kind of haram.
I think that's very.
I think a Muslim OnlyFans manager. I think that's the haram part.
Even if you look at Pride Month, it says demon inside.
What do you mean?
Like, for instance,
The end of Pride and the beginning of month.
So just do the first.
Let his brain roll a little bit.
Again.
Wait, what?
Write it down. Do you have a pen?
Write it down?
So PRIDE. So you take the DE and then you take the month.
Nigga!
Yeah, Pride. That's the word demon.
Oh.
Look at that moment. We got one of those.
Whoa!
They're telling
I'm
you.
stealing that.
They're
That's
telling
my
you.
TikTok clip.
They're telling you.
Yeah,
They're telling you.
guys, Pride Month has the word Pride Month demon in it. Cut it. Give me this. I didn't learn from him.
Of course not.
We're stealing that.
Hey, brother, that's what everyone else does for me.
And I think for Drake, he's not like as loud, but he has always bucked against the system, even though it seemed like everything was in his favor. A common theme he would have in his music is, you know, like, they're trying to hold me back. These people are against me. And in the beginning, he did have a lot of people against him because of the music that he was putting out in the early days. So that kind of does line up.
Yeah. Listen, anyone at that level is going to have someone controlling them to a point. But as he was coming up, it should more represent his energy. Once he actually gets there, you start understanding, you know, people control you. Like, for instance, Will Smith. His woman was basically f***ing their son's best friend, and then she took him on a podcast and told that dude that, you know, she had an entanglement. I mean, you talk about a beta male. That's something else, bro.
Hey, that guy saved us on Independence Day. Okay.
So what was that?
Saved us from the aliens.
So is that guy's like number coincide with that level of behavior, or do they not match? Or
well, I don't think they ever matched. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith has always been a you know, she always wanted to be with Tupac. She's born in the year of the pig. Tupac's born in the year of the pig. She had that connection. Once Tupac died, I don't think she ever loved another man. That's who she loved, and Will Smith admits this. You know, so again, when you marry a woman who's still infatuated and martyred another man in her mind, she's never going to form that close connection with you. So of course she's going to cheat on you.
So this was his fault that he didn't choose properly.
What if Will wanted a reading?
Wait. I've done way bigger people than Will Smith.
He's like, you're a cuck. I don't do readings.
I've done way bigger people than Will Smith. I am not worried about Will Smith. Will Smith, if you're watching this, I mean, listen, you're pathetic. You're pathetic.
Your TikToks are big.
You allow another man to sleep with your woman.
A boy.
And not only that, this is your son's best friend. So someone came over for a sleepover and they happened to your life. You bitch ass.
Hey, my handler's correct. Listen, I know all the celebrities who DM him, right? He doesn't go in detail, but we know, like, we're close. And the interesting thing about this is you'll take on a bunch of people that you don't really respect, but if they've crossed the line into hyper cuckhood, no matter how much money they have, he'll say live on a podcast or a fucking vlog or whatever. Man. He'll say, nah, bro, this is disgusting.
I got my
For Will Smith, he'll say, that's the most money in the game. And what's interesting is, have you noticed Hollywood guys, not just Will Smith, they all got to get in a dress and do something homosexual before a fat contract.
Do you remember what Will Smith's first movie was?
No.
6 Degrees of Separation, where he actually played the role of a and the person who put him on was a guy by the name of Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones is
Michael Jackson?
Yes, he's another one. Quincy Jones put up the most powerful black people in America because he was their handler. And for Quincy Jones to put you on, you needed to be two things: attractive and willing to bend over. So that the Will Smith got paid. Again, it's a possibility he doesn't even give a about pussy. So that's why he doesn't care if, you know, Jada cheated on him, because he's actually on his knee pad somewhere.
In my documentary coming out, where I uncover the deepest, darkest secrets of Egypt, even Pythagoras, Freemasonry, all this, there's one thing that I learned after 100 books, and it's not a homosexual sodomy ritual just for fun. There's a psychic trauma bond happening, especially if they're young, when they pop someone in the ass, even Marines to go to higher ranks in military.
It changed their chakras. So when you actually molest a little kid, it changes their chakras, and then they become gay in the future. Don Lemon, former CNN anchor, is the prime example. So he got molested as a kid, and he actually has a husband. So again, they can't actually reproduce, so they have to convert, and that's how they actually convert.
So why is it, for example, like let's say a veteran went to war or something and he experienced like a traumatizing experience, he would come back and he would say, hey, look, this is the experience that I had. I wouldn't advise this to like the younger people. So why is it like people like Don Lemon, if they experience this traumatic experience and then they, they become whoever they are, and then they encourage the younger people to go through the same thing?
Yeah. It's their chakras, bro. They actually,
like misery loves company.
It changes their whole outlook.
Yeah.
They actually think that's normal then.
And they say for an 80% mind.
That's why the cancer has to be eradicated.
And what's crazy is what they say is for 80%, 85% mind control, it's like in the trauma you can program them because the child enters a dissociative state. But if it's really satanic and horrifying and you're screaming at them doing it, like Hillary, basically their mind shatters into pieces and they blank out like this and they go to a happy place because they can't take the trauma of cutting them and the rape ritual. And when they're actually dissociated and in that state of trance, like they go to, it's called in Freemasonry, Albert Pike talks about the biggest pain and darkness turning into Elysium and joy and heaven. And they get this third eye. And right when they're like this, like a zombie, you can program them you could say one command like, kill now! And they can actually suppress this memory for 10, 20 years when they're walking out in public.
I think you're talking about MK Ultra.
Yes.
That's MK Ultra. That's not Masons, bro.
They mastered it in ancient Egypt, not how they say in World War II. But apparently 20 years later, they live a normal life. Some of them even straight and coping.
They get a trigger.
They get one phone call from the same voice, same tone. Kill them now! And boom, boom, boom. They start fucking shooting up places. And they can, when they enter that state, they can take instructions better. They don't move like a young adult. They move like a master. They have a mastery.
They're called Manchurian candidates.
Yes.
And they're provided by MK Ultra. So yeah, I know exactly the terms you're talking about.
That clip is gonna bang on TikTok because all the conspiracy guys say they mastered it in World War II. Dude, they mastered it from the tribe, the cannibal tribes, cannibal. Since cannibalism, they found out, hey, if you want generational wealth and your kids, rich father, poor son, keep pissing it away, you traumatize them, and not by just cutting a puppy's head off and yelling at them. If you actually do harm to them, every year, your son, your grandson, your great-great-grandson, they all do the job that you wrote down you need them to do. So they all go into politics, become George Bush, stuff like that. It has to be done through horrific trauma, and
that's how you brainwash people.
Yeah. And they say if you want 100% control, the only way you get 100%, which is damn near impossible, ages 2 to 4 or 6. I forgot what it was.
When you found all of this and it was like changing your life, what made you want to spread it as much as possible? Because I haven't seen any male push numerology, astrology. I can't even think of somebody that's like a competitor of yours.
There is no competition. I destroyed them all.
And the competition, they don't make money from it. They try and get like 10,000 views on a YouTube video and stuff, but they'll never show their face. They'll never actually have clients that made money off it, and they cannot explain what they're seeing. They're just noticing like one pattern, but he'll notice one pattern, explain it 4 different ways, go in depth, and then start linking that number, let's say it's your number, to celebrities. And then you start hearing celebrity names that your mom and dad and aunts and uncles and grandparents all said, hey, you're like Will Smith. Hey, you're like this. Whatever name they told you, he drops that name. And he doesn't even know who the you are. That's what blew me away. And I kept testing him because I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I kept pointing. We went to dinner. He spent $4,000 on us. We went to dinner.
Come on.
Listen. We went to dinner. He hit everyone. I said, do her, do him, do the waiter, do. He hit everyone correct. And I can tell when people are just being polite or when the waiter goes, that was good. Yeah, because in that year, yeah, I lost a loved one. Me, I don't give a f***. This guy's legit. We're about to make money. F*** your loved one. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen. Bro, I gotta take a piss. Now, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna say where we are. We're in the high rise.
So what motivated you to say like, hey, this changed your life, but you want everyone to know about this?
Ego. Because I wanted to prove I could. How many people get to actually change the world? A lot of people talk about it. They'll give you motivational speeches. They'll tell you, yo, this is what worked for me. Nah. I'm going to touch everybody. See, the difference with Andrew Tate is he touched 35% of males. If you take that in society, that's about 17, 16%. That means 84% of the people out there rejected his message. No matter how strong his supporters were, 84% were pretty much indifferent or didn't care, or strongly against. With me, nah. It's going to be men. Like you said, the first one, whoever was a man. By the way, I'm not a communist, so that's going to make me different from all the females who are doing this. So I'm going to be the first one who takes the females, the males, the Muslims, the Christians, the Jews, and I'm going to do it because I'm going to make it make sense. I'm going to do what other people couldn't. I'm going to make it make sense. And I'm going to bring it to your level. Because if I want you to believe, it's not your responsibility to believe. It's not your responsibility to give me your faith. It's my responsibility to give you enough evidence so you can say, okay, this is real. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to tell you a few things. So if you're in sports, I'm going to tell you Michael and Kobe were both 11/11s. If we're in history, I'm going to tell you about, okay, Al-Qaeda was founded on the 11th, and they attacked Spain, they attacked India, they attacked America all on the 11th. Coincidence? I'm going to tell you that the World Health Organization called COVID-19 on the 11th. I'm going to tell you they named it a pandemic on March 11th. So again, I'm going to bring it to your level because that is my responsibility if I want people to actually see that this is real. So whether you're in stocks, and I tell you Wall Street crashed on October 29th, 1929 to 9/11, or I'm going to tell you Hurricane Katrina, the big one that hit August 29, 2005 in St. Louis. Again, 2 and 9 is 11. Or I'm going to tell you, listen, Joe Rogan is born on the 11th. He's the top guy in the game. There's a guy on Kick, Aiden Ross. Who the thought he would get famous? But he's born on the 11th. How did a clown like that get famous? But he's born on the 11th. Alex Jones. Everyone knows who he is. He's born on the 11th. So again, I'm going to bring it to your level. And I know history too. Not just American history. I know a different country's history. 22 is known as the master builder. Remember I talked about them being bodybuilders?
Yeah.
But they're also very good at building other things except their bodies. Vladimir Lenin, the guy who started the Soviet Union, born on the 22nd, he created the Soviet Union that was founded in 1922. George Washington, born on the 22nd. Who's the founding father of this country? Him.
George Washington.
If anyone has more responsibility than George Washington, and maybe only other person, Ben Franklin. But he was the first president, so he gets it. He was born on the 22nd. If he doesn't take his army across the Delaware River, there is no America. He did that. I can tell you that if you believe in coaching and you believe Bill Belichick is the best coach of all time, I'll tell you that his mentor was Bill Parcells, born on the 22nd. And you look at the coaching tree that he assembled, he built a lot of head coaches. So again, we just talked about everything. We encompassed everything. I'm bringing this to your level. And if you still don't believe or at least have an open mind to this afterwards, I would have to question your intelligence or anyone else's out there. Because I'm giving people enough examples for them to say, okay, let me take a look at this. And another thing people have to understand is it does not matter if you believe me or not. The elite, they do this. They do this. Ask yourself, if they're doing this, isn't this something you should look at?
I think that's reasonable. But do you think some of them started looking into this out of an insurance policy in terms of like maybe they didn't believe it all the way, but they were like, hey, there's a lot of coincidences here. So let me like cover my back by.
No, they've been taught this from a young age. That's how they stay the elite. You go to public schools when they tell you to go to college, get yourself in debt, get a mortgage, and slave to the system for 30 years. That's not what they're taught. They're taught occult secrets from the very beginning.
But what about people like LeBron James that didn't go to these schools?
No, he was handpicked. That's why LeBron James supports certain causes.
Okay. So can I give you two other dates with for example, there's this guy who's currently on a murder trial where he's facing the death penalty, this rapper, YNW Melly. He was born on May 1st, 1999, and what he's being tried for is the double murder of his two best friends, which happened on the night of October 26th, 2018.
October 26, 2018. So 2018 is an 11 day. So there we have the emotional event. And give me this guy's birthday one more time.
May
5/1,
1st.
1999.
Yeah.
Well, 5/1 also happens to be the day the Illuminati was founded. That's also the day Vanguard was created. Vanguard is founded 5/1, 1975. Adds up to 28. They got $9 trillion. I want you to repeat that. $9 trillion. They control the whole system. People in positions of power like that, if he's born 5/1, he's most likely going to be sacrificed.
And that could be either like he dies or he goes to prison forever.
Yeah,
or
pretty much.
Okay. So I want to do another one, just like personality, not like linking it to two. So very, very popular, bombastic personality really within hip hop is Joe Budden. He was born.
He's a 33.
Is he?
I think. Give me his birthday. I think I talked to him before.
8/31, 1980.
Trying to think if this is the guy.
Are you thinking of Charlemagne?
No, I know who Charlemagne is. Hard ass worker. That's the first thing. Has he been knocked a few times?
Like beat up?
Not just beat up, but by the law. Are they going after this guy?
Yeah, they've like hit pieces and stuff.
So he's born on the 31st. 3 and 1 is 4. 4 is the number of law and order. So people born on the 4th, 13th, 31st can't really do dirt like that. So that's the first thing. Second, he's also a 3 life path like your boy over here, Zherka. So probably a very, very loud.
Yes.
He probably likes to verbally abuse people like him. If you're talking about personality, probably matches this guy. The difference is this guy's pretty much a little bit more in the moment, and that guy's more planning how to do things. That's what I would say the major difference. But again, good mouthpiece, runs his mouth, verbally abuses people. So again, a lot of the same personality.
He is a podcaster, yeah.
So a lot of podcasters are 3s. Rollo Tomasi's a 3. Crowder is a 3. Again, we talked about the people in the past who were born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th. So again, a lot of the best podcasters are 3s. That's why I keep saying this dude would be very good at this stuff. And that's why he is. Crowder, I mean, hell, he was offered $50 million. And he's very good at what he does. Now, the reason he's so hot right now is he's a cat, and this is a cat year.
Okay.
Just like, for instance, what's his name? John Jones. Do you know who John Jones is?
Yeah, fighter.
Okay. So John Jones is born 1987, the year of the cat. He became the youngest UFC champion ever at the time on 2011, the year of the cat. In 2017, his enemy year, they stripped his ass of the title. He never lost the fight, but they stripped his ass of the title. And then in 2023, year of the cat, gets his title back. See how that works?
I mean, that's a lot. That's stacking a lot of coincidences.
Again, people can call this cherry picking. People can, and remember, some people are NPCs. So no matter what you tell them, it doesn't matter.
No, for me, it's like once it gets to too many coincidences, then I'm like, all right, because like you're hitting me with a lot. So I'm just like, damn, like there can't be this many coincidences this frequently, especially the way you're pulling it out. And you are giving like accurate bios on these guys that you don't even really know.
I don't need to know them. I don't need, but whatever space I go in, I'll dominate.
Okay, there's another. Okay. I won't even give you information on this guy. His name is DJ Vlad. He was born 6/28, 1973.
Is this the dude the white dude who does the stuff on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know who he is. So that's not really fair. But he's born on the 28th.
Yes.
Does he have a big bag?
Very big, yeah.
Okay, so 20th number of wealth. Remember we talked about that before?
Yeah, the
So
billionaire.
does that make sense why he has a big bag, why it comes to him easier than it does the most in his position?
Yeah, and he was one of the people that even at his size, he monetized and found ways to monetize better than everyone else.
That's exactly what I would expect of a 28. I would also say he's kind of ruthless with his space. He won't let anyone in.
In a way. So like he'll give people advice, but he's very ruthless with his content.
Yeah.
So if anybody uses like even a 15-second clip, like let's say on Instagram, he'll take it down. He's like, you can't use my content at all. It's centralized in this place.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that philosophy.
Me too.
I want people to know this. I got 500 million views. Whatever content I have out there, feel free to copy, paste, and do whatever the fuck you want. I do not. I think it's more important to get yourself out there. If people want to copy, like, there's some people I talked to before, and they're like, man, they got better views with the same video that I created than I did. I'm like, what are you mad about? They still saw you.
Yeah.
As long as it's you, what do you care? What do you care? As a matter of fact, you should actually give people incentives to do stuff like that. Like I do.
How do you do that?
I have something called GG33 Academy. It's my secondary school. One requires a non-disclosure. One requires you to pass the interview. Again, I won't just take your money. You got to pass the interview. You got to meet certain requirements for me to even teach you, because that's one of the benefits of having a bag already. That's one of the benefits of having billionaires, that I can actually say no to people because I don't need your money. So that's one. Some people are slaves to money, and they will let someone who's a bad apple in just to get their money, knowing that cancer will spread. No, not with my group. So the main group requires a non-disclosure, all that good stuff. The secondary group, a lot cheaper, $98 a month, and I have some of my best teachers in there. People who teach tarot, best of the best. People who teach numerology, astrology, yoga, kundalini, everything you can think of when it comes to the occult is being taught in GG33 Academy. And one of the things I do is I give people an affiliate link. If you want to go out there and make videos of stuff like this, and you know how well the videos have done, and you want to be an affiliate, I'll give you a cut. And that's how it works. That's how capitalism works. I got to give you an incentive to do better. That's why communism's never going to work, because communism has no incentive. Why would I outwork you if there's no incentive? Yeah. It makes no sense. So that's why you always have a stagnant economy when it comes to communism, because there's no incentive to do better. In capitalism, I want to spread my videos. Okay, cool. I'm going to give you a cut for doing it. Now they have an incentive. Now you can grow. That's how capitalism works.
And there's scale to it as well. Like the more they sell for you, the more
100%.
more of a percentage they get. So when did you first get involved in sports? Was that something that you grew up watching?
First time. I was. My dad was a Browns fan, and I was somewhat of a Browns fan. And believe me, that's pretty tough, man. That's like, going out there to the, ballpark every day or the playground and just getting your ass whooped, and just going out there every single year and knowing you're going to get bloodied up. But my dad was a Browns fan. I was and then in 2007, I actually met the Browns, and they put a restraining order on me. And I was like, what am I a fan for?
Wait, why'd you get a restraining order?
I told him to draft Adrian Peterson. 321, 1985, 11 life path. And he turned out to be a Hall of Famer. They didn't listen to me. They picked up a good player, but they didn't pick him. And I used to go to Berea. That's where their headquarters was, in Cleveland. And I went to the secretary, went through everybody. Unfortunately, the GM at the time was the ordained minister, and he wasn't trying to hear it. And he told someone in security, and I get a phone call one day. And it's something like this. I pick up, and he's like, son, my name is Lou Maroletti. Do you know who I am? I'm like, no. He's like, Google me. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of mobster is this calling me like that? And, I Googled who he was. Former head of the Secret Service under Bill Clinton. Next time he called me, I said, yes, sir. But he told me to leave the Browns alone. And this guy's, because he was the president for Brown Security at the time. He retired. And I was like, listen, I got something here. He's like, I don't care, we're putting a restraining order on you. So they did it. I mean, I had stuff with the Cleveland Indians, had stuff with the Cleveland Cavs, but I have more success with other teams in California, and that story will come out eventually one day.
When it comes to numerology, especially when you said you work with certain people that are religious, and you said there was this guy that wasn't trying to hear any of this, he was an ordained minister. I've
got a lot better since 2007 at explaining myself.
Is there a conflict between, let's say, Abrahamic faiths, in particular,
Zero.
between that and numerology?
Zero. You open the Bible, it's filled with numbers. You open the Quran, it's filled with numbers. You open the Torah, it's filled with numbers. So if numbers are evil, so is the book they're written in. So after I say that, what can they really say?
Yeah. Was there anybody that reached out to you that you were surprised by, where you were like, oh, I never thought this guy would believe in this, or maybe public facing, he's against numerology and says it's bullshit, but behind the scenes?
No, I don't get starstruck.
No, not starstruck. Like, you were surprised that, oh, I didn't think this person believed in this stuff. Okay.
I mean, I've done readings for people in the House of Saud. You know, if you're doing readings for people in the royalty in Saudi Arabia, at that point, what do you get surprised about anyone? You know, I had this one guy call me, and he's like, yeah, Gary, I want to set a wedding date. I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, you pay me a lot of money, I'll do whatever. What's the wife's birthday? And he's like, which one? So apparently he had 3 wives, and there you're allowed to have 4. So he was asking me who his 4th wife should be, and he was giving me a list of this person. He's like, this is my final wife. I cannot have any more. I have to get this one right. I'm like, you know, after he told me he could have 4 wives, I told him, Allah Akbar, brother. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, who the hell wants more than one woman? I mean, that's a headache, dude. That's a headache, man. They're emotional, filled with problems. If they don't get their way, they act like a child. Who the wants more than one of those?
Yeah, them apparently. So you've had no problem going back and forth with a ton of people on Twitter. You've lost a bunch of accounts, and I think
I've got a lot of them back.
Yeah, you've in the past year or so, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of them back. I mean, a lot of them.
What were they banning you for back then?
Being conservative,
okay.
Supporting Trump, and I didn't support Trump because I liked the guy. I supported Trump because he was the lesser evil. I mean, Biden's a pedophile. What's the decision here? A guy who, you know, is probably stealing money some way, or a guy who's a pedophile? I mean, come on now.
So what are the different numbers between Trump and Biden?
Biden's a controlled puppet for Barack Obama. Trump is probably being puppeteered by someone, but the strings aren't as tight.
So I kind of want to go into how your, I don't know if it's relationship, but your engagement with Andrew Tate started, because the first time I saw it was when he had called you out years ago. This was maybe 2017.
Yeah.
And you were doing the numerology thing. You had a very, very strong cult following at that point in time. He was relatively small, but
he didn't have my following.
He didn't. No, he didn't.
So here's the thing. I have many friends who are friends with him. They set up a reading. They basically asked me to do it. It's not like I went for him. They asked me to do it. I gave him a reading. In that reading, I told him he'd be famous in 2022. My rationale was he was born in the year of the tiger, and that's when the tiger year is. So just like Mr. Beast got $1 billion evaluation, he's a tiger. And, last year he got that evaluation in the tiger year, just like Tom Cruise was the highest paid actor at $100 million last year, and he's a tiger in a tiger year, just like the original Top Gun came out in 1986, a tiger year, and he's a tiger, so he got famous in a tiger year, just like Tate got famous. So I told him this stuff would happen. He got his account suspended, and he decided that I was a soft target. He's going to come after me. He got his whole war room to pretty much get me suspended after a while, and then he was laughing his ass off. So that happened to be my enemy year. So I really couldn't do much.
So you fell back a little bit.
Yeah, I fell back a little bit. I promised the that I'm gonna holler at him one day. So when I see he's blowing up, I thought, well, now we strike. And I knew he had kids. No one, very few people knew he had kids, but I have informants. So I knew he had kids. So I went on a podcast on 11/11. Get this. It was a podcast with some kids who have like 10 million on TikTok. And I specifically told him I want to do it that day. And in that interview, I revealed that he has kids and that, when he goes sees one of his baby mamas, he has to give him like 10 racks because the baby mom won't let him see the kid without money. It's like he has a lot of different kids with a lot of different women. So no one knew that about him. So as soon as I put that out there, it blew up on TikTok, 6, 7, 8 million views. Other people are copying it. All of a sudden, it's leaking everywhere. The top G has kids, this. Then he had to go on with Aiden Ross and admit he had it. So that's the first time I really fucked him up in the game. So then I started taking people off his team. GG33 Academy is a direct competitor to his war room. I stole at least 1,000 people from him. Not to mention that the people who he was in contact with before are now coming to me. So I don't like it that a rival got more famous than me, but we're changing that. And let's be honest, I'm not making this up. 500 million views this year. That's 500 million views. That's a lot of views. So here's the thing: am I a billion yet? No, but he went up too fast. When you go up too fast, you're gonna go down. Me, I'm doing more gradually.
And was the year that he got locked up a bad year for him?
No, at the end of the year, I said in a let me see if I can find the tweet. I actually predicted he'd get arrested by the end of the year in 2022 because the Tiger year is coming to an end. So is that little bump he got. Everyone does very well in their own year. Everyone thinks they're the man. They do well in their own year. What happens when your year ends?
So even if it's your year, towards the end of the year, something bad can happen.
Very possible. Extremely possible, actually.
My sources in law enforcement have told me Andrew Tate will be arrested end of 2022, early 2023. No matter if he's guilty or not, the Romanian government is under intense pressure from USA/big tech to shut him down. And this is October 11th, 2022. You said this.
Yes.
So when you make certain, like, let's say guesses, right, based on numbers, is there ever a time where it's just like percentage based, where you're like, hey, there's a higher likelihood of this happening, I can be wrong? Like, you're not like 100% sniping everything down.
Who the hell is 100%? My claim to fame is not that I'm 100%. My claim to fame is I'm better than anyone else at it.
Okay.
That's it.
So what is it that these other, like, astrologers, because you're not just astrology, right?
I'm numerology, astrology, and everything else.
So what's the distinction between numerology and astrology?
Numerology is way more accurate.
Okay. And less women involved.
Of course.
Okay.
GG33 is 85% men.
That's one thing that blew me away. It's like all astrology has been feminized to where we go, oh, that's like woman
All that.
But really, it's like, it's all to do.
The best has always been the men. Yeah. The best, Nostradamus, Rasputin, those were men. They were always the best. More women have always done it, but the best of the best of anything's always been men.
Nostradamus that predicted everything. He was the numbers.
Man, he was an astrologer, but it doesn't matter. He's a man.
Yeah, actually, the more you go back, or even as far as Pythagoras, astrology just becomes numbers, compass, square, and stonemason tools. But for predicting Andrew Tate, you guys spoke about this. I knew this weeks ahead, and I didn't say too much, but because of him. But I had a million people DM me saying every time Zherka's asked about Tate, he gets kind of like little fucking, like I get.
I called this October 11th. I said he's getting arrested by the end of the year, and I also said it doesn't matter if he's guilty or not.
This stuff blows people away, but the stuff he told me weeks in advance, I told you some of that that I'm not going to say. That stuff was even more impressive because every time I was asked in interviews, what do you think about the Tate case? Everyone in the interviews was optimistic except me. And it's because of him.
him.
Right? I knew he's going down. But I was worried if I say it to the public, then more people will just start piling on because we don't need to see, I guess I'll consider him like red pillar. We don't need to see the red pillars go down. But yeah, he black pilled me and I was like, oof, it's going down. The orange pill is
What happens? Let's take a look. He gets out of the Romanian jail on March 31st, the day of the Matrix. Don't think these people don't have like comedy. They did that shit on purpose, okay? Yeah. They release him on the 31st. They tell him to shut the up. He shuts the up in April. He shuts the fuck up in May. All of a sudden, he starts to run his mouth in June again. June with the BBC. Then he has a War Room member, Patrick Bet-David, go down there and interview his ass. Again, Patrick's probably making more money off Tate than anyone else. That's the real pimp out here.
They just messaged me, so we're not talking about Patrick.
No, I'm just saying that's the guy who makes the most money off Tate.
I didn't know he's a War Room guy.
Of course he is, man. So here's what it is. And again, he's a very smart man. He made a lot of money. He's worth about 300 milli. So I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying he makes the most off Tate. But think about this. Right after that interview, the charges come because they told him to shut the and he didn't shut the So now they're going to get him on trumped up charges. I don't believe he raped anybody. You know, if me and him saw him in the streets right now, we'd probably go to work. But at the end of the day,
yeah, he hates him, but he'll say the truth. He doesn't think he's a rapist, so it's fair.
I don't think he's a rapist. But
now, if Tate,
he's a.
And if it was the other way, and Tate was on a podcast, he'd say this guy's a rapist. Fraud. You know how many people came out that in Tate's inner circles? If Tate don't like you, he doesn't mind painting you as a rapist.
Nope.
We can't do that. We can't. We have shame. We got shame.
I got a moral code. I don't do like that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So is him consistently opening his mouth an attribute of like his number?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
what's Tate's number?
Yeah, what is he's a 1.
He's a what?
He's a 1. He's a
yeah.
The 1 is the male, aggressive, arrogant.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fighters that are 1s.
Correct. Yeah. Quite a few. I mean, no one ever said he's a beta. I just said he's a.
And his brother is a what number?
I believe his brother's a 3. Am I wrong?
Tristan a 3, really?
Is it Tristan a 3?
I thought he's more quiet.
I know he's a dragon. That's why you don't like him.
Yeah.
Look him up. I think he's a. I don't remember. I don't remember what he is. But you know,
you're right about that. I don't really have reasons to hate the guy. All he said was dork. I've been called dork before and shit like that, or asshole, or
he's a dragon. That's why you don't like him.
But it's not the word when he said it. It's his face in my head that made me go to war. He's a dragon.
Yeah, he is a dragon. You know what's in? He's a 3. So okay, so Tristan Tate's a 3. So again, he runs his mouth as well.
How can a dragon be a 3?
His birthday is a 3. It doesn't matter if he's a dragon or not. So you know what we're gonna do on Tristan Tate's birthday? We're gonna go up to the KFC and we're gonna get some food, but we're not gonna do it, inside. We're gonna go to the trash can because that's where Tristan Tate gets his food from. Whoa. Remember when he was broke all the time? He has all those stories about going to KFC and grabbing food. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do on his birthday. We're gonna go right by a KFC and we're gonna give people food out of there in honor of Tristan Tate's bitch ass.
The only reason I met up with him is like, I don't know about this guy. There's a lot of this guy seems like maybe he's a Fed.
I'm a Fed, man. You're a Fed before I'm a Fed.
I say it, so
okay, it's who's wearing some Fed sunglasses? Who's wearing the Fed sunglasses?
That's because the black eye ritual. But yo, check this out. As soon as we're like, he insulted me and stuff, and we're going back and forth, all he said was, yeah, Tate brothers are and I'm like, give me the address. Let's do this fucking podcast.
What about a friend of his or a friend of ours, Sneeko? He's
a tiger.
He's a tiger.
So who put him on? Mr. Beast put him on first. Mr. Beast is a tiger. Sneeko's a tiger. Who put him on after that? Tate.
Yeah.
Tate's a tiger. Puts on another tiger. See how it works? And again, he could be all Quran all he wants. This supersedes Quran. Okay? Because I can actually give you examples of how this works. When did Sneeko become the man? 2022, right?
Yeah.
Tiger year. Just like Tate came on in
2022.
So again.
So they blew up the same year.
Yeah, of course. So
right, because he went through his formula. Yeah. Tiger. Yeah. Oh, wow. So wait, does that mean I do what dogs do? Like I follow...
You actually do well with tigers.
That's so true.
You do well with Sneeko.
Well, why do I think I do?
That's the content that people love
I
most.
really think I do the best. People think they make fun of me for this.
No, Sneeko is born on the 8th. That's why he's got a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Really?
He's born on the 8th. That's why he has a couple money. Oh, by the way, if you're listening, Sneeko, it's not because you're a genius. It's because you're born on the 8th, man.
That's exactly it. But to me, it's interesting because it's like people make fun of me when I say this, but I would work great with Trump because I'm not. You know those guys who are
Trump's a dog like you.
Is he?
Yeah.
And people
Just he runs his mouth just like you.
People think that I would try and out alpha him. No, I want to be. I don't mind being under Trump at all. I'll be a fucking soldier.
As long as you can talk.
Yes, exactly. as long as I get my identity. But he's a dog, Trump.
Yeah, he's a dog, Trump, man.
That's my guy, bro. Give me another dog that you think I'd like.
Let's see, who's another dog in history? Winston Churchill.
Oh, shit. This is a satanic dog. What presidents were dogs?
George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, a lot of dog presidents actually.
And they're all. You picked the charismatic types too.
And they're all pretty much 11s too. George W. Bush was a 33. That's why he was hated.
It wasn't because he was evil.
I mean, listen, evil is, perspective and relative.
There it is. This is where we separate. I go with Christ. He goes with the as above, so below.
This is, if you want to compare George W. Bush to me and you, yeah, he probably is evil. You want to compare him to Stalin, he looks like a saint.
Yeah. Okay.
So perspective does matter. Hitler was a 33.
A 3?
33.
What is the difference? We're adding it up, right?
Yeah, 3. No, you can't add up 11.
No, he doesn't get. He doesn't tell what 33.
Oh, right, because that's the second level.
Yeah. Well, let's just put it this way: 33s are the ones who influence the world.
So you're 33.
Yes.
Could you say, with the knowledge you have, that the conspiracy of Hitler working with the Z's is
It's 100% true. I wrote a book on it.
What?
Yeah, I wrote a book on it. How
Give me the book, bro. I'm in your house.
Yeah, it's an ebook. I'll send it to you.
Oh, hell yeah. Tonight.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Is it purchasable on like Amazon?
No, it's free.
It's free.
I gave it to people for free. Because I didn't want to be accused of trying to make a profit of trying to slander people.
So, is a 33 who like governs like people like Kanye and stuff?
What do you mean, governor?
You said like the people that are above them in terms of
the
like
handlers would be 33s.
Yeah. A lot of handlers have been 33s in life, but usually they're the ones who are the trailblazers. The Wright brothers in flight was 33.
What about these billionaires?
But that's 28.
Right. So there's a handler above a billionaire, right?
No, well, yeah. There's people who are trillionaires. I mean, come on.
And do you think the tops of power are 33s?
No, I think the 33s just influence. Like, for instance, Jesus died at 33. Why? Because the number is more important than the man. They wanted Jesus to be the most influential dead man in the world. That's why they said he died at 33, and that's exactly what he is. Now, there's even some talk that Muhammad was born 330. Again.
What'd you say about 72 virgins?
7 plus 2 equals 9. 9 is completion.
And completion would be heaven.
I didn't say that. Completion is the end. That could be heaven or hell.
What about the handler that was texting Kanye?
So hell would be 72
his birthday was August 6th, 1974. He was the guy that was saying if you don't
August 6th, 1974. Oh, he's connected to people.
That's true. He's like this guy.
He's very connected to people. Someone trained him extremely well.
That's true.
So if they don't, that is true.
That's very true.
If someone doesn't fit the bill, you assume in his clan, in his team, that someone trained them well.
I'm just really good at. I can look at people's experiences in life.
He could do Nostradamus predictions, but the most impressive thing about Gary is this guy smokes 2 fat joints before doing this. How do you not blank out if you're high?
Because I'm a genius, and that don't affect me.
Genius, give me some money.
How about this? I'll show you how to make money.
Ah, there it is.
That's the Jewish way.
Yeah.
No, you gotta show me because you can show him and he still won't do it.
No doubt. So again, when it comes down to it, marijuana does not affect me. You just saw me smoke something really big. Do I look like I'm fucked up?
Not at all. You look energized.
So again, that doesn't affect me like it does other people. I don't drink. I don't do stuff like that. But again, I don't think that people who are stupid should smoke weed.
So most people shouldn't smoke
Yeah,
weed.
exactly.
Well, would you ever assign a number that should never smoke weed? I don't think threes should smoke because they're talkers.
I don't want to reveal that information.
Oh, that's behind the gates. Okay, one last guy. This guy I won't even tell you his name. May 17th, 1991.
Influential, was poor, goes up and down with money. I don't know who that is, but I would just say a very influential person from behind the scenes. Probably knows a lot of people.
That's
a lot
accurate.
of people come to him for guidance. He's probably like the main networker. He probably makes his money off his acquaintances, the people he knows. That's how he makes his bread. Does things with a smile. Doesn't really try to strong arm people.
What is it?
Academics. It's pretty accurate.
Oh my God, with a smile too.
Yeah, he's always laughing.
Yeah. He's not like a war type guy.
Nope.
Unless he's drinking, which is...
Which is all the time.
Again, drinking is drinking, but
Yeah, he didn't really get into too many beefs when he had a problem with like
yeah,
Soulja
he's
Boy
gonna
and stuff.
get paid. If he isn't paid already, he's definitely gonna get paid.
Yeah,
He's
I've heard of
paid
things,
now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
For
definitely
like a lower name, a lot of money that guy.
yeah, he shouldn't have to worry about money.
Okay, so let's say somebody like believes this and they want to learn this. Like, where do they go? You said these books suck.
Oh, well, of course. So again, I have GG33 Academy. You can sign up for that for $98 a month. So it's not the most advanced info, but it's like stuff that really, really gets people on the right track. I have my best students in there, from numerology to astrology to Kundalini to tarot to all the stuff they're teaching in there. If you want to get to the level where I start teaching people, that gets expensive. Not only that, you have to sign a non-disclosure, meaning if I teach you, you can't teach others. You can't compete against me. Why the would I teach you if you're going to start competing against me? So again, I don't do that.
So you're monopolizing.
Of course. Why wouldn't I? I create the whole thing.
Oh, I respect
wouldn't
it.
I?
I respect the move.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? Again, there's people who are trying to make money off the free information I put out there. I see what happens when, I don't gatekeep. People try to steal, and they won't even give you credit. That's the thing. They will not give you credit. I basically put 28's number of everywhere. Now you see that number everywhere. Everyone sees that number 28 everywhere. No one gives me credit. For God's sake, there was a pastor on this Sunday talking about everyone in his congregation give him $28. What? And he's like, I can't tell you why. I'm like, fuck. I mean, come on, man. And then I see today 28 sticks of gum. Like, this company has 28 sticks. Where the f this come from? So again, if I don't gatekeep, that's what happens. So I will gatekeep, and not only that, I won't just take your money. You have to. Yeah. You not only have to pass a non-disclosure, sign one, but you have to pass an interview. If I don't like your politics, if I don't like certain things about you, you're not coming in.
What can Will Smith do to come in?
He can't do anything to come
He
in.
needs a time machine.
So what formed your political views?
Common sense.
So you weren't
I was never a liberal.
Okay.
I'm not one of these guys. Oh, I was a liberal and then I woke up. No, motherfucker. I knew this shit at 13. I knew what socialism was at 13, what communism was at 13.
But here's the thing. Every crypto, all these guys who have a bunch of money, but like 40,000 followers on Twitter and shit, after following you for a few weeks, they all changed their names to numbers.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they learn the system a little bit. I give a lot of free game. You followed me for a while, since like when?
Yeah, maybe 20. Well, I followed you in 2016 to
What?
2017.
You've known him?
And then I lost your account.
Because my account got suspended.
Yeah, and then I just lost sight
How
of it
did
until
you?
last year.
How did you find him?
I was just in that circle of Twitter back then.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. I used to have I was the
He
first,
had an army.
I was the first one with the cult following. Before Tate.
Yeah, he had
I
people.
was the first one.
He had people hashtag their
Everything
in their bios.
AJ Cortez.
Yeah.
CJ Johnson.
Ed Lattimore.
Ed Lattimore.
Whoa.
No, never Ed.
No, but he was in that circle.
Yeah,
of
he
Twitter.
was in the circle.
Yeah,
he was in the circle. I mean, I played chess with that and stuff like that.
Who's mostly these guys coming to you? Are they business world people?
To me?
To your website? Is it mostly students? What is it?
At this point, to my students,
Because I don't think broke people go to your website because broke people never think.
Well, here's the thing. For my students, it's probably average income to above average. When it comes to me, I'm like a high-priced information. You literally, if you want to play for me for within 24 hours, it costs you $2,000. So again, man. But I mean, what are you supposed to do? That's supply and demand.
Wait, I'd rather go to
You're the
Hustle.
only supply.
What about Hustlers University? What can I learn there?
Probably how to
Drop shipping, right?
how to.
Could you ever sell something like that?
No, I'm not doing that. Crap,
It's a
dude.
scam, right?
I mean, no. I mean, you can make money at it, but it's when the space gets saturated.
Yeah.
When you have too many people doing the same thing, like think of all these Manosphere guys, Tate, Rolo, Sartain, all these red pill guys, Waller. There's not that much space. It's like only 17% of society. You're splitting all these guys up.
Well,
Me, I on my own thing. And by the way, I'm branching out. See, most people say, hey, if you're good at something, stay in your lane. That. I own my space. Now I'll come in your lane.
Well, but what about like when their wives like yell at them on podcasts? Don't you think that's like, is that really red pill? Are you gonna call them red?
Hey, listen, brother. I have never had anyone embarrass me like that besides my mother. Just flat out.
Now, when you showed me that Sartain clip,
He's the one that showed it to you. You showed it to me after.
I liked that guy until that clip, and then I realized
Of course you like him. He's a 3.
because he said he's military, so I actually thought he was gonna turn around and beat the shit out of that woman in a video game like Minecraft. But it was weird because he just kind of took it.
Rolo's a 3. Sartain's a 3.
Oh.
You're a 3. Crowder's a 3. A lot of these
See,
people.
now I don't want to be a 3 anymore.
No,
I'm with Crowder.
This is exactly what you guys do. You run your mouth. It doesn't mean you guys all believe in the same thing.
So I'm not a 3, right? I'm not a 3. I'm one of the red 3.
Hey, all I gotta say is this: Crowder, your wife left you. You're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and your wife left you. So obviously that means one of two things: either you can't pipe her down right, or she was running all over you, and you never said no to her, and then she lost interest. It's one of the two.
One of the two, and it equaled to 3. You're making my guys look bad, bro.
You're finally getting the math right.
Oh, I need to stay away from this line of thinking because I've noticed most performative people or people who talk like me, they're kind of gay. They're like all gay, like they all have a secret gay history, and I'm like, bro, I don't really fit in with. If I'm chilling with just 3s, I think it's good. It's gonna be a Holocaust.
I don't let homosexuals in my studio, my friend. No, there's no pride here, bro.
So, who's a 3 that's masculine besides me?
Tom Cruise?
Okay, yeah, I could see him being straight. That one could be straight.
You can see him being straight.
I mean, he had a lot of good-looking women around.
He's as straight as it gets from that world.
Well, if you look at his,
that is true.
Yeah.
if you follow his marriages and divorces, he's like the one CIA Scientology asset that actually could be straight. There's nothing
Let
to
me
him
ask
that's
you,
gay.
Zherka, would you debate some Freemasons? Okay, I'm gonna.
I would wipe the floor with them. I'm
okay,
telling you,
okay.
I don't read 33 degrees. I go way beyond.
So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna bring some Freemasons here, and from Ohio, and they're gonna be here sometime in July and August. I'm gonna have you debate them flat out.
Can I even have prepared questions?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
I already cleared this with them.
they always.
They're 30-second degrees.
I'm telling
30
you,
seconds.
They always go back and forth in the email. When it comes to live, they never show up.
Okay,
never.
I promise you, this person will show up.
Is this
I
Prince Hall?
promise you.
Black Mason?
No,
Is it
it's
White
not.
Mason?
It's a white Mason.
Give me all right, let's go.
And you know the blacks aren't actually allowed to be Masons.
Yeah, the Prince Hall is not real Mason.
And neither are the women.
Yeah.
You know, at least the Masons.
That's Eastern Star.
Exactly. At least
Yeah.
see the Masons were at least smart enough not to let the women in.
Yeah.
So you can't really say they're stupid.
No, they're geniuses for actually organizing the women, the blacks, and stuff. But they have your own club.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, Shaq, he was on TV. Shaq. And he shows his Mason ring, and they ask him, "Are you a Freemason?" He's like, "Of course I am." And then the anchor says, "Is that a legal profession?" And then, you can't find this commercial, but I'm sure if you dig for 5 minutes, you'll find it. How the is Shaq known for having $500 million?
Because Shaq is born 3/6/1972. 3/6/1972 adds up to 28. Remember that magic number we kept talking about? He's a 28 life path.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
Show me on Google. This is it, bro. This is the real deal if you're right about this one.
Shaq has a lot of money.
Way more than his buddies. He's like 500 million more than a basketball player.
Here we go. 3/6/1972.
How do you not forget them?
The thing
I don't
is,
smoke enough, my dude.
the thing is, even if, like, let's say you are a fraud, I'm just so impressed by how much you memorize.
Yeah.
For like, nobody that does fraud would memorize this much fraud.
Yeah. And liars are always nervous about on-spot questions.
I got to be nervous about, man? I'm a pimp at this.
Yeah, liars always afraid they're like getting caught, but this guy is like
He'll like create
he's the
more
real
information.
deal. Gary might be the real deal.
Might? Is
Hey,
still a might in here?
I'm a 3.
It's
I got
still a might in here?
I'm a 3. I have to make it performative
You're killing
and
me, man.
attack him.
You're killing me. Still invited here, man. I'm the best of the best at what the there is. There's not. I'm not the Michael Jordan numerology. He's the basketball player that I'm supposed to. I dominate everything. I completely own my field. No one else has got numerology than men. No other person would have got you even considering talking about this, or you, or anyone else listening to this.
No, that's true.
I pull that off because that's what I do.
And I'm the most stubborn guy on the internet. So for me to put my reputation on the line and say, "Oh, this is legit," like a transgender, how do I become an 8? How do I become the money? I have to embrace my full 3 and be a performative.
I'll tell you when we're off camera how to.
But
get some
so I think the reason why, like, you're just so overly, you're just like so not even overly you're just so masculine that men like see how you talk and what you say, and they're like, whoa, this can't be some gay shit that he's talking about. Just look at the way he speaks and presents.
I ain't on that, man. All I can say is Zherka, Tate, Logan Paul, you're very, very lucky this technology wasn't around 20 years ago, because I would have completely dominated everything.
That's right.
I would have completely dominated everything. I already got my bag. I'm not as hungry as I used to be, but I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to dominate this social media shit. I'm going to completely dominate this shit because no one else is doing what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, I'm going to make it make sense.
But isn't it dangerous to teach the stupid this?
I gatekeep a lot, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gatekeep a lot.
I feel like the most dangerous thing is imagine stupid people watching this start doing their big events on 11s.
It's not.
They fucking die.
The thing is, stupid.
It's not that simple.
No, but stupid people, they read something, they know it works, and they know it could work for them, and they still just don't do it.
What's interesting
Or they forget
is the numbers part actually gatekeeps and scares the stupid people. They go, math, no, even I did that, but it's such simple math. And it's not that deep thinking to change your life with this stuff. And what else are you going to learn? Hustlers University?
Let's learn how to pimp cam girls. That's what we're going to do with our life. We're going to learn how to pimp cam girls.
A 3 can make it happen.
Yeah, you could definitely pull that one off. There's no doubt about that, bro.
But then my legacy is gay. Now, what's interesting to me is like, if every number means something, you did 1, go to 2, 3, 4, all the way to 9.
Choose the feminine energy. That's why B starts with, B is the second letter. That's why it starts with and beta.
That's why it has tits.
Exactly. 3 is the childlike energy, the comedian. 4 is the policeman. 5 is the model, the people who are entertainers. 6 is home and family. 7 is the genius. Genius starts with G. G is the 7th letter. 8 is the number of money. 9 is the enigma.
So the genius makes less money than the 8 billionaire.
Of course, that's not his role.
The genius is like really like how much do they make really?
But that's not what really motivates a genius.
Because geniuses get stolen by 8s.
It happens. I mean, Bill Gates stole a lot from people. So does Steve Jobs. But the smartest person isn't necessarily always going to be the richest. I mean, we have Elon Musk. That's a rare exception. He's a 7 life path. He's really smart, but he's also born on the 28th. That's why he has that money.
Yeah, but most people watching this, they only want to know how to increase their income.
Yeah, but I'm not going to tell everyone that. That's insane. All I can tell you guys is if you can price your products in 8s, that's something I released to the public. For instance, if you're selling something for $1,000, sell it for $998. $998 equals 26. 2 and 6 is 8. If you sell something for $3, sell for $305. 305 equals 8. So if you price your products in 8s, they're gonna sell you a lot more. And believe me, I've literally helped so many people. It's not subconscious.
Are people doing the math subconsciously in their head and being attracted to the?
No, he says it's the energy.
No, it's the energy. So you're gonna when you have that 8 energy, it's just gonna pull money toward it like a black hole.
Oh, so it's not the human doing the math in their head by accident going to the 3 and a 5?
No.
So is that why you priced the one at $98 a month? 9 plus 8, 17, 1 to 7, 8.
If he changes, you
go here. I'll go to my whole website. You can do all the math, man. Everything's in the eights, and I'm not hiding for this from
Trying to
people.
learn this.
Yeah, you're getting it faster than me, and I've been here for weeks. This is like Naruto, bro. But hold on, if you change Zherka's brand,
Go to anything right there.
so
It'll
all
be
my merch,
eights.
if my merch had 8s on them, I would be helping my audience.
Of course.
53, that's an 8. 125, 5 plus 2 plus 1, that's 8. Yeah.
Everything though. Go to student readings. Go to my readings. Hit my readings.
You know why I
Gary
believe? You know why I believe him?
Where is
All right,
that?
let me have it. I'll
Hey,
show you.
audience, let me talk to you. Is this the camera? Yeah. You know why I believe him? You know how expensive an 8-ball is? Like, holy shit, dude. But
One,
even
eight,
in
eight,
pool,
eight.
even in pool,
That's
the 8-ball.
16, 17, that's 8. 1 and 7.
Every single one.
998, that's 26.
6, 8.
Yeah. 800, that's 8.
If he cuts
575, that's 17 again, that's 8.
if he cuts the YouTube video to 8-minute segments, he'll do better.
I mean, 17 seconds, 26. Sometimes 28 works. You know.
But that's money, that's selling.
But
That's not
I would
necessarily.
prefer to have it 33 seconds. That's more influence. With more influence, you create more money.
Are your TikTok clips like that?
A lot of them can be. I mean, you have to understand, people care about money, so I talk about 8s and 20s a lot. That's what they care about. I mean,
You're not that into making. He's not into making money as much as you are being the master of. Like, you want the identity of master, and because I've been talking to him for weeks, and I'm like, you made enough. You're not as hungry.
No, I mean, listen, I don't really care that much about being a billionaire. I have plenty of friends who are billionaires. You know, I would much rather have influence than be a billionaire. That's it. I mean, listen, go on TikTok, put in numerology, just gonna see my face over and over and over.
Each clip is like 1 million. You do great on TikTok.
I do very well. And IG, I'm destroying it too. I did a clip 4 days ago at 7 million. Another one 3 days ago at fucking 4 million. So,
Whoa.
yeah, we'll I think I have you in one that has at least 1 mil.
Oh, let's go.
I think
you need to put 8 more.
Here, I'm gonna promise everyone this. By 2025, I will be bigger than Tate ever was.
Okay.
And by 2000 what?
2025.
2001 is the year I die.
So you've been reincarnated already.
I mean, 2001. This is 9/11.
This math thing is not working too hard for you.
And you know he'll never edit it out. So I'm a comedian guy. What the you got?
Nah, you got a while to live. Let me see your hand, man.
So what's his
Oh,
next?
what does the hand do?
Let me see your hand.
What do you do? Hand?
Yeah, you'll make it to the 50s, bro. Don't worry.
Really?
Hey.
That's more than he thought.
I'm not sure.
more than
I'm not
real.
sure about 60s though.
You weren't even
I'm
sure
sure,
about
yeah.
40s.
Yeah, my doctor said like 42.
42. Nah, I think you'll make it past 42, man. Okay, just might want to turn that 8-ball into a 2-ball.
I can't. I'm an entertainer.